is the first thing the future of the Bush tax cuts?
It is. We should extend the Bush tax cuts and make sure that we don't have a double-dip recession. And I have the honor to be the first of 95 new Republicans coming to the Congress, fiscal conservatives, to help right our ship of state.
When Senator-elect Kirk, your first thing you're talking about is deficit reduction and spending. Does that mean that right now, as of today, you'd be against extending the unemployment insurance?
That's right. You could extend it if you found a way to pay for it, and I voted for that in the past. But these proposals to extend unemployment insurance by just adding it to the deficit are misguided. We are now seeing a European debt crisis in Ireland and Greece that teaches us what happens to governments that spend too much.
Do you agree that it is important to extend unemployment benefits, especially as we go into the holiday season?
Yes, as long as they are paid for. Proposals that extend benefits but just add the bill to the deficit take us in the direction of Greece and Ireland that are now imploding as economies. We see overseas what happens when governments spend money they don't have. I think the lesson of the 2010 election is that we need much more fiscally conservative policies to help protect the United States.
Do you extend that logic to the tax cuts? A lot of Republicans want to extend the Bush tax cuts. Do those also need to be paid for?
I do, and I think that we should back the Orszag plan. Peter Orszag, President Obama's former chief of the budget, said that they should be extended for 2 years. Because the worst thing that could happen is a double-dip recession in which millions more Americans are thrown out of work.
So your position then is, and I actually like the Orszag plan very much, extend it for 2 years, but then end it for deficit reasons. So
I would probably like to extend it further, but then there's a question of what is the proper role of a lame duck Congress? We have dozens of congressmen and senators who were defeated by the American people. I think we should make a very limited set of decisions and then let the new Congress that has a fresh mandate from the American people take office and make the bigger decisions.
Again, I just want to underline this one more time because I'm actually heartened by it. You will support extending the tax cuts if those tax cuts are paid for.
Well, I want to make sure that we extend the tax cuts no matter what to prevent a double-dip recession. Because if we throw millions of Americans out of work, one thing is that's heartache and sorrow in their families. Second is they're no longer taxpayers. And we would see a drop in government revenue. But I think the critical thing here is expanding the economy.
If they're not paid for, and I'll get to you in 1 second, Howard, if they're not paid for, though, do we not risk going the way, as you said, of Greece and Ireland?
That's why this Congress has spent little to no action cutting any budget.